Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Troller. 1972 to 1975.
Game 537, White Sox at Tigers.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to 1972-75 Carryover League. We have completed round one of the postseason tournament, the race for the pennant tournament, and now we'll begin in round two. In the American League, first place teams going across division to a division they didn't play in before the All-Star break. And this would be the middle divisions, the White Sox and the Tigers. Let's kind of show you a little bit of where the tournament is at this moment. We have eliminated 8 squads. Elimination videos posted for those. So the next stage is to have our first place teams play each other for seeding purposes without elimination. I like to say this is the last time that you can go into a slump. Kind of a way of protecting the top teams in the sport. Like, hey, you don't win a best of 5 here, doesn't mean your season's over. After these 4 series, everything else is elimination permanently in the tournament and, of course, the playoffs when we get there. So this is sort of a recreational matchup. You don't want to screw yourself by such poor play that you fall out of first place. Let's take a look at those scenarios. In the American League, we'll start in the American League East. Could the Orioles play themselves out of first place? Probably not, because they have to play Oakland, and they have a tall task against the A's. They got to beat them 5 straight. I don't think it's going to happen. So the Orioles cannot fall down the elevator shaft into second place, most likely. It's up to the Red Sox to ascend that elevator to the first place when they play. Tigers are playing the White Sox. Again, the White Sox have them where they want them. 4 games to 1 is what the Tigers need. We'll get into that shortly. So it's unlikely the Tigers could stumble. Now the White Sox are one team that Kansas City is so close to them that they have to make sure they win a few games against the Tigers or win the series outright to make sure the Royals don't catch them for first place. Otherwise, the White Sox might have to play in the 3rd round for either a wild card or winning the division, extending their scenario there. The A's, if they collapse against Baltimore and lose all 5 games, they're still would be 4 games above the Rangers. So if the unthinkable happens, they're still probably the best team in the American League. National League, Giants out west will play the Mets out east in a best of 5. No danger at all from slipping out of first. And again, it's really weird. The same scenario that we saw with the Tigers, the White Sox, and the Royals with the Chicago teams is happening in the National League. You have the Cubs playing Vegas, and they have to play well. They play poorly. The Reds could catch them. So really, it's the whole purpose of this round seems to be just, can the White Sox and Cubs hold off the Reds and the Royals to stay in first place? So that takes us to today. We'll show you the results of the first couple games here between the Tigers and White Sox. I'll go back to the tourney mission. Here we are. Tigers are 4 over 500. White Sox 8 over 500. Difference of 2 games means the Tigers have to take 4 games to 1. Ignore this. This is from a year ago. Tigers have to beat the White Sox 4 games to 1 in 5 games. So we'll go to Game 1. And Game 1 was a predictable classic between Mickey Lolich and Wilbur Wood. Wouldn't want it any other way. 2 pitchers who combined to throw. Are you ready, folks? Adding up their innings pitched, These guys threw 704 innings in 1972. Think about that versus today's game. 704 innings out of 2 humans, Mickey Lolich and Wilbur Wood. Anyway, this is a case of the Tigers, big game participants, a lot of baseball the Tigers have played in the postseason and in big moments, going back to the 68, and the fact they've been in 3 of my Carry-On League World Series. And Mickey Lolich has been in more rodeos probably than anybody. Wilbur Wood's sort of chasing that. Top of the first, K-line singles. Willie Horton, who else? 2-run homer. The White Sox get a single, then a double play, a strikeout to end the inning. Promising second inning, a single, a K, an out. 3 straight walks, a bases loaded walk, atypical for Lolich. He gets the final out. Third inning, a single. Carlos May steals a base. You can run off these Tigers. Both catchers have +1 and +2 arms. A single, runners on the corners, then Lolich strikeout to end the inning. You see the White Sox continue to put men on base against Lolich. A single, stranded, single, stranded, single, stranded. And when the Tigers get a guy on base, they bring him in. A triple off of the Wood card, RBI single K-line. Solo homer, Bill Freehand. Solo homer, Jim Northrup. It's 5-1. But the White Sox make a comeback. Bottom of the 7th, a double by Aparicio, RBI single Carlos May. A single by Melton, runners on the corners, 2 outs, Steve Bry grounds out. 8th inning, a walk, a double. An RBI single by Aparicio. A walk to Dick Allen to load the bases, and Melton grounds out. It's 5-4. Bottom of the 9th. After a ground out, you have a Steve Bry walk, and then Mickey Lolich strikes out Buddy Bradford and pinch hitter Bob Stinson to end the game. And these lines, these are typical of guys who threw 700 innings, folks. Wilbur Wood arguably pitched better, put fewer men on base, lost, because he gave up the big fly, the home runs. Wood, 9 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks in his complete game. And look at these numbers for Lolich. Probably threw 165 pitches, 9 innings, 13 hits, 4 runs, 6 walks, 10 strikeouts, a double play in the first. He stranded a bunch. No caught stealings. The White Sox just could not hit with runners in scoring position today. So give Lolich, I'm sure these guys had beers after the game somewhere in Chicago. And yeah, Lolich got over Wood 5-4. So the Tigers now need to win 3 out of 4. Game 2 in Chicago. White Sox get the comeback win. Something they didn't finish in Game 1. Buddy Bradford kind of getting hot for the Chi Sox solo homer. But in the 4th inning, Stan Bonson does something that is very un-Stan Bonson-like. A walk, an out, a hit, an out. And then Jim Northrup rolls a 6-12. It's almost a universal Strat-O-Matic rule. You don't have anything on 6-12 on Strat cards. It's usually always an out. You barely even look at it. But nope, 6-12 was a walk. That loaded the bases, and then Tom Verizon rolls 6-10, homer 1-7, and of course that's the grand slam. 4-0 Tigers. White Sox respond. A single by Orta, triple by Dick Allen, an error by Norm Cash, making it 4-3. So the Tigers are not without their own warts. Successful stolen base doesn't go anywhere. Top of the 7th, interesting strategy move here. Bonson pitches to Dave Chalk. He rolls a triple off the Chalk card. So Bonson is removed. You got Stevenson, a lefty. LaFleur doesn't hit lefties well. You know the Tigers have Stanley and Freehand on the bench. So the White Sox are sort of giving the invitation to say, look, all right, bring your guys in. We know you got Mickey Stanley and Bill Freehand. You bring them in now because we'll have Gossage face them later as a righty-righty matchup. And that's what the White Sox would prefer if they can come back. So naturally, Bill Freehand faces Dave Lemons. Gets the RBI single. Lemons finishes, or he comes out. Mike Garman finishes the inning. And in the rally, in the bottom of the 7th, the Bill Freehand is a big player in this. You get a homer by Melton. Then a double by Stinson. Pinch runner. You get a single. Runners on the corners. You get the dreaded catcher's X. And for whatever reason, Bill Freehand's defense is pretty bad. He's a 4+2 E9 catcher, and that's a pass ball and the game's tied. And that's how the White Sox tie it up on a pass ball. The guy who singled goes to second on the pass ball as well. A grounder to first gets him to third, and Buddy Bradford gets a single, and it's 6-5 White Sox. And then in the 8th inning, Dick Allen walks, steals another base where you're running off of these catchers, and then you get another catcher's X. This time it's a wild pitch, gets the runner to the third, an RBI single, and now it's a 7-5 game. Forster pitched the 8th because of lefties. Northrop was in there. And then in the 9th inning, we're back to the righties at the bottom. Freehand strikes out to end the game with Rich Gossage picking up the save. So the Tigers sort of had a learning experience in this defeat. They had an opportunity to go up 2-0 on the road. They didn't get it. And their big boppers off the bench helped. But their defense hurt in case of Freehand in both innings as unearned runs scored. Not to mention, the starters in this game, we talked about Bonson. The Tigers threw Dave LeManchik out there. In his 6 innings, the White Sox did not get a hit off the LeManchik card, which is rather curious. They did not roll a 4. You went 6 innings without the dice roll of a 4. And then they get to the bullpen in the 7th, plus the errors. They get to Bob Veal and George Culver. Basically, Detroit's situationally doing the same things the White Sox bullpen does, but with less talented players. All 4 of them. You have Gossage, Forster, Mike Garman, Lemons. They're all better than their corresponding John Hiller, George Culver, Bob Veal, Gary Gentry. Basically, it's the experience of an old Detroit team who doesn't have the Strat cards anymore versus a White Sox team who's pretty much better in every area. They just need to play to the cards and try and defeat the old men of Detroit, which is something that's been virtually impossible for the last 6 years. The Tigers seem to have an inside straight all the time in Strat-O-Matic, and you just cannot finish this team off. They've been to 3 World Series. So this is not going to be easy for the White Sox, just to dust the Tigers. Series tied, a game apiece, which means that the Tigers have to win the next 3 games. 2 games in Detroit, if necessary, and Game 5 would be in Chicago. Today's starting pitchers. For the White Sox, it's Tom Bradley, who's come on of late with some good pitching. 15-game winner in 72 with a 2.98 ERA in 260 innings. And the Tigers are going to send Joe Coleman out there. 19-game winner with a 2.80 ERA in 280 innings. Very even matchup. Same templates. Looking at both cards, Tom Bradley's just a little bit better than Joe Coleman. It seems like all the White Sox players are just a little bit better than their Detroit counterparts. You know, Dick Allen's a little bit better than Willie Horton. And you've got Carlos May's a little bit better than Jim Northrup. And George Orta's a little bit better than Dick McAuliffe. You can go all the way through the matchup, but it's been a tight, nail-biting couple of games. Tiger Stadium, Game 3. Let's get started. Leading off, it'll be Carlos May. 311, grounds are short. Buddy Bradford, 6'11". Pitcher X, Coleman. Then he's 6. And he makes the play. George Orta, 39, single 1 of 14, lines out on a 20. It'll be Dick McAuliffe leading off. The Tigers have shifted their lineup. Stinson's a +1 arm catch for the White Sox, and the Tigers actually have a couple base stealers, Ron LaFleur and Jerry Terrell in the game. They're going to try and exercise some speed today if possible, which is out of character. McAuliffe, 48, triple 1 of 4, gets the triple on triple 1 of 4. He's at third for Ron LaFleur. 55, roller to second, and the run scores. It's 1-0. Al Kaline, 59, skies to right. And Norm Cash, 210. Let's take a look at the Norm Cash. Fountain of Youth, folks. Still has it. He's like 37. Still crushes righties. Foot in the bucket. Yanking them down the line. 22 dingers. 490 at-bats. The precursor to Jim Tomei, I like to say. No, that's probably not accurate. But anyway, yeah, Norm Cash, that is gone. 2-0. Willie Horton, 6'12", for your DH. And you roll the fluke injury on Bradley, second X. Oh boy, here we go again. Or does a 4-20 at second. And he makes the play. So we'll have Bradley pitch on the point of weakness to like the 4th inning, nursing an injury. And then we'll go to the bullpen here. Because we don't just remove an injured player if it's a pitcher, because we're so shorthanded with the number of pitching spots we have. We only have 8 pitchers on our teams, 20-man rosters. Top of the second, 2-0. It'll be Dick Allen, 58, center. Ken Henderson, 6'11", strikes out. Bill Melton, 47, is a K. Bottom of the second, Jim Northrup, 1-9, grounds the third. Jerry Terrell, 67, is a single off that point of weakness because he got hurt. John Stevenson was going to hit and run, but now he's thinking, maybe I should just swing away. He'll swing away. 32, lines the first. Tom Barizer, 43, first X. Muser, Tony Muser, 2E14 at first base, and he gives up a single. 2 on, 2 outs for Dick McAuliffe. 1-8 is a strikeout. No harm done there. We go to the third. It's Bob Stinson. 65, flies to right. Tony Muser, 1-4, flies to right. And with 2 outs, Aparicio, 48. And there is a base hit off the Tiger pitcher. Back up top to Carlos May. 48, another hit, triple, 1-3. He gets the triple. Weird. Both pitchers, 4-8 via lefties. Triple 1-4 for Bradley, triple 1-3 for Coleman. Both are hit. Both score runs. 2-1. Carlos May at third. 2 outs, Buddy Bradford. 38, strikeout. Bottom of the third inning. It's Ron LaFleur. 1-6 for LaFleur is triple 1-8, and he rolls a base hit. Now he'll steal, or do you hit and run with K-line? They're going to hit and run with K-line. Runner has to steal as he swings to the hit and run, and LaFleur will be safe because you got a +1 arm of Stinson. So LaFleur's at second, and now K-line will swing away. 3-6 is a strikeout. Norm Cash, 57 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Willie Horton. 5'11", right X. Your right fielder is Bradford at 2E3 in right field. Makes the catch. We go to the fourth. Batting out of order, 2-7 is a K. Dick Allen, 1-9 is a base hit for the base stealer. We have been running roughshod. The White Sox have not been caught stealing yet. If it was Melton, I'd steal because he hits in a ton of double plays. I'm going to let Henderson swing away because Coleman is really weak against left-handed batters. Allen being held at first, the pitch to Ken Henderson. 1-11, and of course, it is one of the few 3-6-3 double plays on the Ken Henderson card. Bottom of the fourth, it's Jim Northrup. 32, pops to second. Jerry Terrell, 5'10", short X. Aparicio, 2E24, makes the play. John Stevenson, 35, flies to right field. We are going to pull Bradley with the alleged injury nonsense after 4, because at least the White Sox, they have gone deep with their bullpen all year, and they have long men. Gossage leads all relief pitchers in innings pitched. Forster's not far behind, but Lemons and Garman have some more tread on their tires. They need a little bit of work, and they'll probably pitch the 5th or 8th innings. And Wilbur would be pitching tomorrow to reset the bullpen if necessary. So, if there is a game 4 tomorrow, as this game is still just 2-1 in the top of the 5th, and it's Bill Melton. 57 strikes out. Bob Stinson, 2-2. He's hit by the pitch. And it's talking. Tony Muser. 39 flies to center. And with 2 outs, it's Aparicio. 6'10". Catcher's X. Stevenson's a 4E8. Catching defense, not a forte of these squads. Pass ball doesn't hurt there. And the inning is over. It remains 2-1 Tigers. A lot like game 1. Bottom of the fifth. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right. Fifth inning. Here is Dave Lemons. He's fresh. He only faced one batter in game 2. It was the pinch hitter, Freehand, but Stevenson just batted, so the Lemons won't have to face him. Dave Lemons, interesting pitcher. 4-7, 2.94 ERA, and 95 innings in 1972 for the White Sox. He's been very good this year. Different mission today. Just get 6 outs and don't screw up too poorly. It'll be number 9 hitter Tom Verizor. 37, Sky's the center. Now, you got McAuliffe, the lefty, and then you have LaFleur. Dick McAuliffe. 37's a K. LaFleur doesn't hit lefties very well. And you often like to let's just bring in Mickey Stanley as the pinch hitter, because you know they're not going to lift the Lemons. Mickey Stanley will bat. Let's take a look at Mickey Stanley. He's going to bat for LaFleur, who's not very good against lefties, and be the defensive replacement with a lead. Crushes lefties, a 1-2 in center field, and he will face Dave Lemons. Mickey Stanley, here is the pitch. 56, double 1-8 is a double. And now you got Al Kaline with a base open and Norm Cash on deck. This would be an excellent chance for a intentional walk. They're going to walk Kaline. Don't do it that very often. But Norm Cash is pretty weak against lefties. And again, these two teams use a lot of strategy, a lot of head games here. They're very confident that the Tigers aren't going to lift Norm Cash, and they're not. They need Cash. So lefty-lefty, Norm Cash not very good against lefties. Here's the pitch. 37. That should be a hit. It's a strikeout. Let's take a look at the Norm Cash card now after the at-bat. And that was the strategic move. 3-7 is a strikeout against lefties and 17%. Very poor this particular season for Norm. Very deadly versus righties. That scores a run if you get a righty in there. So innings over. 2-1. Another nail biter with these two squads. 6th inning. Stanley takes over in center. And it'll be the top of the lineup for the White Sox. Carlos May. 1-3, a comebacker to the mound. Buddy Bradford. 49, double 1-11, base hit. He's a 14 base runner. It'll be George batting out of order. 47 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Dick Allen. 2-6 is a base hit into left field. Bradford. 14, 15, 16. He's not going to get thrown out at third base. He'll stay at second. He can score from second on a single. It'll be Ken Henderson. This is an interesting moment for the Tigers. Coleman's weak against lefties. He's a starter 7. We're in the 6th inning. You're asking 3. You do a pitching change. You need to get the White Sox out 10 times with Gentry, Veal, Culver, and Hiller. So I think he pitches to Ken Henderson here in a big moment with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Ken Henderson. 4-4, second X. That was the right move. The second baseman, McAuliffe's a 2-13, and he makes the play. Big out by Joe Coleman there. Bottom of the 6th. Dave Lemons will face Willie Horton. You got to get past the home run here if you can. Nope, can't get past the home run here. 1-5, Willie Horton. This guy just is Mr. Clutch home runs. Probably leads all of the American League in homers over the last 4 years, if I was guessing. 1974, he had 15 homers and 250 at-bats. Probably got injured or missed the season for some other reason, but 1-5, that is gone, and we have a 3-1 game. Now you got Jim Northrup. 64, short X. Aparicio's a 2-24. Makes the play. Jerry Terrell. 69 is a sky to center. With 2 outs, you could switch to freehand. That would get Lemons out quicker. Or just leave Stevenson in there and leave freehand as a pinch hitting option should Forster come in late. They're going to let Stevenson bat. They're going to leave this catcher in there. Leave Freehand on the bench. Here's the pitch to John Stevenson. 47 is a strikeout. All right. 3-1 game, top of the 7th. Joe Coleman's breaking inning. It'll be Bill Melton leading off. 4-10, homer 1, fly ball. Flies out on a 7. Bob Stinson. 2-9, grounds second. And talking Tony Muser. 5-11. Center X, this is Mickey Stanley. The 1-2 center fielder makes the catch. LaFleur was a 4-11. They didn't hit a ball to him. Stretch time here in Detroit. The Tigers, once again, in a tight game. The White Sox, once again, in a tight game. We are enjoying Junior Walker and the All-Stars, 1970. A gas. Carry your own load, Holly Holy. We'll do Hey Jude in a little bit. Junior Walker and the All-Stars, Barry Gordy, Motown. Sound thing happening. Back to the game. Bottom of the 7th. Dave Lemons. Let's keep his arm fresh. Pull him after 2. We'll go Mike Garman in the 7th. Garman was a nice pickup out of the St. Louis system. 74, Garman was 7-2 with a 2.63 ERA in 82 innings. Mission, keep Forster and Gossage available in the bullpen. Bottom of the 7th, it'll be Tom Verizor leading off. 37 is a K. Back up top to Dick McAuliffe. 49 off Garman is a walk. Runner at first for Mickey Stanley. 3-11, 6-4-3 double play. So once again, what did the Tigers do? You get a base runner, base runner, base runner, they all score. Triple, homer, homer, 3-1. Can you finish? John Hiller is available for a 2-inning save. You got Aparicio, and then I think we'll see Hiller. Because you'll have Carlos May, Bradford, and Orta all coming up after Aparicio. Here's the pitch to Louis. 66 off Coleman is a strikeout, and that will be the walk to the mound. And Joe Coleman, he's a starter 7. He used to be a starter 9, so I can understand him coming out in this situation. He leaves after 7 1/3, and they're saying, bring me John Hiller or eliminate us. You know, if John Hiller blows this save, we don't deserve the series anyway. So John Hiller's going to come in, try and get the final 5 outs. Hiller in 73, 10-5, a 1.44 ERA in 125 innings. And he's probably not quite as good as Rich Gossage, but I'll take either of them. You know, they're both outstanding. Hiller's a relief 3, Gossage a relief 4. It'll be the top of the lineup. Carlos May, he does very well against lefties, and here's the pitch. 1-7's a strikeout. 2 outs. Buddy Bradford, down 2, 4 outs remaining. Doesn't hit lefties very well. I think we'll see a pinch hitter. It'll be Steve Bry. Hits a little bit better against lefties. He will swing. 54, flies to left field. We'll just take over in right field, and that's that. Bottom of the 8th, Mike Garman will continue. It'll be Al Kaline. 43, first X. Tony Muser's a 2E14. Makes the play. Norm Cash, homered in the first, 1-5, base hit. Willie Horton, 63, second X, but Orta's in there still, 4E20, second baseman. Ground ball C. Runner at second, 2 outs for Jim Northrup. 2-9, base hit right field. Cash won't run. 10, 11, 12. You got. Actually, you don't have Bry's arm out there. You don't have Bradford's arm. Bradford was pulled with a -2 arm. You've got Bry with a 0. Are we going to run Norm? We're going to run Norm Cash on a 12. Here comes Norm trying to score. He's thrown out on a 15. Got a little greedy there for another insurance run. We got Norm Cash thrown out the plate. Hope he's okay. So, big break for the Chi Sox there. White Sox, the Tigers will put Dave Chalk into play, third base defensively. 3-1 game in the ninth. And it's almost sad to have George Orta leave for a pinch hitter because he's not that good against lefties. And it will be Brian Downing will pinch hit here in the ninth. Let's take a look at Brian Downing. He and Gossage are both added with their 75 cards. You know, Downing's card is a 240 average, but you look at the card and you really love those walks. He's got a -1 arm. I think he had an arm injury fairly soon, and by the time he's with the Angels, he's really bad at throwing in left field and at catcher. But at least in 75, he was a decent catcher throwing the ball with a -1 arm. Brian Downing leads off in the ninth versus John Hiller. Here is the pitch. 67 is a K. Now you got the dangerous Dick Allen. 67, same thing, is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Ken Henderson. 47 off Hiller, single 1-2-6, cannot convert it. That is a line out, and John Hiller returns the favor of Goose Gossage, gives the White Sox a taste of their own medicine with a 5-out save. Final score 3-1. Joe Coleman, yeah, he pitched out of some jams. 7 1/3 innings with the win. Hiller with the save. Unfortunately, Bradley got knocked out early. Ultimately, it wasn't of consequence. The bullpen, again, 4 innings, just a Willie Horton homer off his own card. No way to stop that. So they did a good job. They also kept Terry Forster, Rich Gossage fresh. They got a day off, and they got Wilbur Wood pitching tomorrow. So all in all, not a bad day for the White Sox bullpen. Just they're just facing the Tigers. What can you say? You just can't beat the old men in Detroit. I'm a broken record. I've been saying it for 6 years. They don't get old. And the Tigers win Game 3, 3-1. They have a 2-1 series lead. We'll pause. We'll give you the results of Game 4 and Game 5 if necessary. So stay tuned. All right, baseball fans, here's the box score of the game you just saw. The Tigers beating the White Sox 3-1, taking a 2-1 lead as we move into Game 4 in Detroit. Tigers would need to win that game, then win a 4th out of 5th game in Chicago. Let's take a look at Game 4. It's going to be the lefties again on 3 days rest. And folks, this is amazingly similar to Game 1 with a team reversal. The visitor is doing what the visitor did in Game 1, which was getting runs with a few base runners and making the home team strand a bunch. Let's get to the scoring. It's scoreless. 4th inning, a single by Carlos May after 2 ground outs. Ken Anderson, 2-run homer. 2 base runners, 2 runs for the White Sox. In the 5th, they get another pass ball on the catcher, putting a runner in scoring position. Carlos May RBI single, 3-0. Bottom of the 5th, Al Kaline solo homer, 3-1. Top of the 6th, a single and a 2-run homer. Buddy Bradford really getting hot for the Chi Sox, 5-1. Same score we had in Game 1 when the White Sox were home and they rallied late in the game. No rally today. Steve Bry gets a homer, and it's a 6-1 final for the White Sox. I'm telling you that now because I want to kind of go through what Wood's day was like. First inning, single, walk, bases loaded, 2 outs, he gets a ground out. So he strands 3 Tigers. Again, we've talked about the Tigers. They don't strand runners. They get a guy on and somebody hits a homer, they score. Nope, 3 stranded runners. Wood allows a runner in second, stranded. 4th inning, single walk, stranded. After the Kaline homer, 2 base runners, stranded. And in the big 6th inning moment of the whole series, chalk singles, Verizon doubles, 2nd and 3rd, Kaline walks, McAuliffe strikes out. And here's your batter of the game, Mickey Stanley, bases loaded, 2 outs, doesn't hit righties very well, crushes lefties. They say, no, it's Wilbur Wood. He stays in. We're not going to put a righty in there. Mickey Stanley rolls homer 1-7, fly ball the rest. And unlike the grand slam off of Stan Bonson, he rolls a 9 and flies out. So instead of the 4-run grand slam tying the game, that's the out. Wood strands a runner in the 7th. Wood strands a runner in the 8th. And they let him go for the complete game in the 9th. So, same thing. Wilbur Wood this time puts more men on base then Lolich gets the win. It seems like Wood and Lolich flipped the results. Lolich actually pitched fewer base runners, but the long ball killed him today. 3 of them. So it was kind of fun to see it go back and forth with these two teams. It was Tigers, White Sox, Tigers, White Sox. We don't need a Game 5. Perhaps we can save that for the playoffs. Both teams are showing their playoff mettle. Good matchup. Might see it again. Fun series. White Sox win the series by splitting 4 games. And when we look at the tourney, here we are. The teams were 4 and 8 games over 500. 4 games were played. The White Sox win the series by splitting the 4. They remain 8 over. Tigers remain 4 over. Overall standings now. You see the Royals still have to play. The Royals are going to play an Indian team that's under 500. They have no opportunity to improve. All they could do is choke away their spot. I'll show you that again in this in the math here. Way up here, Cleveland plays the Royals. Cleveland's 3 under. The Royals are 4 over. So Cleveland would have to win 5 of 6. The best Kansas City can do in that series is win the first 2 games and call it good. But worst case, Cleveland starts going a little winning streak here, and Cleveland maybe wins 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5. Maybe they actually eliminate them 5-1, but not an opportunity for Kansas City to catch the White Sox in this round, and probably not in the third round. So the White Sox in good shape at 24-16. Tigers did show that they're the Tigers, and so they're going to be around. So the second place teams, the Expos and the Royals, they're going to have to fight. They're going to have to actually play for elimination when they play, meaning that if you don't play well, we knew the White Sox and Tigers, if they didn't play well, it was going to be okay. They'd survive. But now the Royals and the Expos, if you don't play well, you go home. Your season's over. So that's the advantage of when the ones play the ones. So break up the Chicago White Sox. They split 4 games. That's all they needed to do to continue their outstanding season. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.